Go ahead and open up Lab 6 Start Drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and save mine with a different name because I don't want to overwrite what I'm going to be giving you all. So what you're going to do is once you open this drawing, you're going to start labeling the information, understanding what you're looking at, and trying to mimic what was on the plat. The plat being this plat here. Okay, so you'll have to create different pages for your plat, and we'll do it all in this one drawing. So you'll have 4 pages, and we'll create different layouts for that. Okay, the thing you have to understand is that when you've got a lot of labels, they have to be managed. Your labels in your CAD have to be managed properly so that you can turn something on in one view and turn it off in another. So, all right, so let me get started. All right, so go ahead and zoom in on your drawing, and let's take a look at what we do need and what we don't need. If I am looking at this and I take a look at the plat, you can see that I've got these lots extending all the way down, and they're 114, 115, 118. Let's take a look at that first. So we want to make sure that everything is parallel and perpendicular. So if I click on this, let me freeze this off. We are missing our boundary, I do believe. Let me click on this first line just to see what the length it's saying. 105.51. So you'll get drawings 105.51. You'll get drawings from the engineer, and sometimes you'll be missing information, and you have to be really careful as a surveyor not to just take what the engineer has, because the engineer sometimes isn't thinking like a surveyor and providing you the information you need. The first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and freeze off this view, because that's how they created viewports for the engineering side. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze off this layer itself. Now I'm going to go ahead, and you can see that this dashed line here is the lot lines. Okay, so we'll end up having to create the lot line for the backs of these lots. So the first thing I want you to do is click on the line and make it current. Okay. So you're never going to get anything just perfect to start with and start your drafting. So I typed in PL for polyline, and I am going to actually snap to each one of these endpoints. So make sure your endpoints are on. And you're just going to come through here and snap the endpoints. Now, undo. It's always nice if somebody has them all cleaned up and ready for you. I got to fix that. Let me zoom out here. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You could have created one point, but I know by clicking to each of these endpoints that it's going to give me that distance correctly. Now I did have a gap. I love the old version of CAD didn't have this grip edit tool, but I love this tool. Okay. And then the other thing is I'm going to extend, EX for extend, and I'm going to extend that line out. Okay. Now I should be good on the south side. I should be good here. Now I just need it to the north side. So I'm going to type in PL, and I'm going to snap it to each one of these. All right. In the plats, you do not need a lot of the information that the engineer needs. I'm going to talk while I draw. You do not need the sidewalks. You do not need the parking lines. You do not need the green lines inside. Okay, So what I like to do is I like to get rid of stuff as we go along. So I'm going to freeze off. You don't need that. You don't need the edge of pavement, the curb. You also have to be real careful because engineers and drafters and even surveyors put stuff on the wrong layer. So we don't need the parking or the concrete. We don't need the curb. We don't need the spots that show the number of parkings. We don't need the parking stalls. Okay. I'm going to leave some of the text on there. We definitely don't need the stop bars or the stop signs. We don't need I'm not even sure what that was supposed to be. It's for the dog park. It's a building in the future for the dog park. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to get the boundary because I've got a pond acreage, pond tract over here, and I've got a wetland. Let's take a look at the plat. And since we're recreating stuff, this will be one of our tasks from the plat if we can figure this out. And of course we should, right? All right. The first thing that we can see is I have got this line right here. And I'll show it to you here. I'm going to try to do these. I'm going to try to do something that, give me 1 second, that I can split my screen. I've got to save all my other stuff out. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, I'm back over here. All right. Down here, I'm going to try to split my screen side by side. Doesn't always work. And it didn't. So I'm going to have to do it manually. Let me see if I can squish this. I'm going to put you on pause until I get... Okay, so I'm set up now, and you can see the plat and this project. So you can see that this is my boundary line. So I'm going to do a quick measurement to prove to you all these are the same lines. So I'm going to do a snap from that endpoint to that endpoint. Well, it would help if I actually snapped to the endpoint. Okay, so 9079, that's the 9079. Okay, and then I've got another dimension that I'm going to pull off of here and measure to here. So there's the 8121. Notice that this one continues up. And it's got a bearing of 049. So what I want to do is check the plan above it and see if it's still 049. Okay, and it goes to this end corner here. So I want to actually extend this. Okay, so this should be 10 feet here. From the end point to end point. So there's the 10, so that measures good. So basically I can actually take this line and I'm going to fill it F radius 0. And I'm going to use this line here, and I'm going to use this one up here. All right. So technically that is our boundary. So if I did a measurement off of there, here to here, $750.31. Okay, now notice this one says 660 6310, but it is measuring down to the end point. Okay, it's not actually measuring this point here. So if I did a circle, okay, if I did a circle and I snapped it to the end here, and we said that was 663.1, 663.1, then I know that the boundary on this back of this tract here, so I'm gonna go up one, that would be this point right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go annotate, and I'm going to hit the tag label, and I just want to make sure that that line is the correct. I'm going to do single bearing over distance, add. If it doesn't look nice the text wise, then we'll fix it. So it is got 0409. Okay, don't worry about, we'll fix the 32. We won't worry about that right now because it's what am I trying to say? It's got too many decimal places. All right, so what I want to do is I am going to break this line, BRE, pick it at the apparent intersection or the intersection. It doesn't matter, you can also extend. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Don't do what I do, do what I say. I know what I want to do. Here, I'm going to expand this out. There's a special type of break that you can use, and I do recommend you kind of seeing this one because if not, you'll have issues like I'm having right now. Underneath the modify, there's a single break. That's what I'm doing. Okay. The other one makes you pick 2 points. This one allows me to pick the one that I want. Okay. So now you can see that I got to extend it down to this, and it should say $663.10. That's what the plat said. Okay. If I look at this, 663.10. All right. So the other thing that it says, so let me squish this back up. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my mouse, so bear with me. It's like it's oversensitive or something. All right. I'm going to move this over out of my way, off the screen for right now. From there, go back up. Now I know that I need to go north 89 degrees, 47 minutes, and 43 seconds east, right? So what I'm going to do is remember how we did the lines. And I'm going to I'm actually going to create a layer. So I'm going to do a new layer, 0-BNDRY, boundary. I'm going to make that current. And I am going to make that line and that line and that line. I'm going to put them all in the boundary. All right. Back to what I was saying. So now I need to go north 89, 47, 43 east. All right. So I am going to draw a line. I'm going to start with a PL. And I am going to use you can use your transparent commands. And I'm going to do bearing and distance. So let me start that over again. There. I've got mine short here. So I'm in the first quadrant, and it is 89 degrees, 47 minutes, 43 seconds. Enter. 663.88. Enter. All right. Let's see what the next part is. It's going to be, I'm going to do the overall south west over here. 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 44 seconds. Enter. 684 is the distance. All right. Mine did not draw that in. Do it again. I'm in the southwest. 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and 44 seconds. Enter. Distance 648. Enter. And then I'm going to go on this one. It is got a bearing of southwest. So let me get back to the CAD side. I'm kind of stuck. Hold on. There we go. So I'm in the southwest. And I'm going to go 89 degrees, 47 minutes, and 14 seconds. Enter. And then I'm going to go 1314.02. Enter. And I'm going to escape for right now. So these should lie on top of the ones that we drew on top of it. Okay, looks good. This is our boundary that we're going to start with. Now, so that goes all the way out to here. And this is the point of beginning. And this has a bearing of north. So I'm going to go P line. And from this endpoint, I am going to use my transparent command. As soon as I can touch it. Bearing and distance, I am going northeast. I am going to go 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 30 seconds. I got minutes off. Minutes and 30 seconds. Enter. And I've got 1311.38. Enter. And then let's see what the next one looks like. So that total should have been, fingers crossed, I'm going to come back over here in the northeast, and I'm going to call it 89 degrees, 48 minutes, 12 seconds. Enter. 6, 4, 8.22. Enter. And escape. So I am on top of that. Okay, so I have a gap. I had a bad hit here. So I'm going to take that one. Is that the blue one? Let me escape out of that. Let me get rid of that. I think that's what's confusing me. Ah, beautiful. So I had that one. That's on the boundary. And I'm going to display order, send it to the back. And there is the individual lines that I picked. Okay, now I'm actually going to change that one and put it on this layer. It should have, that one should have been on that layer. The one that had all the individual, that one should have been on the same layer as the lot lines. All right, now, so if I do lay ISO, and this one should have been on that one. If I do lay ISO, then there is my actual boundary. That would be in, let me get this over here. That would be in sheet 2. Okay, that's this one. Okay, while we have everything laid out, the only data that lines, bearings, and distances that would be labeled would be on the white that you see. This is actually going to be on property. So I'm going to go lay on ISO. All right. Okay, so with that being said, then I'm also going to freeze off. It's a PC flow line, so we can get rid of all of our miscellaneous stuff. Let me make this bigger again. And this region. And I'm going to make this current and P line. That, 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 that. And there you go. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I believe this is a wall. It's a wall. And that, and that. All right. So basically, we are set to start our plat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and I'll get back to you in a second.